This is the Parker Sonnet. It's a full-size torpedo-shaped fountain pen which was first introduced in 1994 and is still in production today. It's been offered in a wide variety of colors and finishes. Today I have a black lacquered finish with gold trim accents. The top of the cap has a metal band, and coming out of the center of that metal band is a black plastic cap. We then have the iconic Parker arrow clip. It is a bent metal clip. It's flexible, springy, and very functional. The cap tapers, widening towards a thick cap band, which reads Parker Sonnet, France, and then IN, which is a date code. And for what I found online, I believe it refers to the third quarter of 1999. The cap pulls off to reveal a fully exposed 18-karat gold nib. There's nice scrollwork at the top, and in the middle it says Parker, 18K. We then have a diamond and 750, and that refers to a 75% gold content. On the back we can see a pretty bulbous black plastic feed with an M engraved towards the top, which refers to the size of the tipping material. The grip section is fairly long. It starts with a flare out with a metal band, and then it tapers to another metal band, followed by the barrel. The barrel is straight to about this location, at which point it starts to taper down to a rounded off edge. And if we look closely at that rounded off edge, there is a little black cap which matches the finial on the top. In the hand, the pen is lightweight, well balanced with a center of gravity towards the front of the pen, and that makes it anchored towards the page so you can easily jot down quick notes. The cap posts deeply and securely. It does transfer the center of gravity towards the middle of the pen, which makes it a very comfortable pen to hold for long writing sessions. In terms of size comparisons, here's the Parker Sonnet, a typical Pilot G2 rollerball pen, and your standard Sharpie. Before we disassemble the Parker Sonnet, I want to take a moment to compare it with a few other fountain pens. First up, I have the Wing Sung 601, and I pulled this in because it's heavily inspired by the Parker 51, which also inspired the Sonnet. The overall shape is very similar in the cap form. It has a rounded off end finial, and the cap also features a plastic insert at the top. Plus, we have that iconic Parker arrow clip on this Wing Sung. Next, I have another burgundy pen, and this is the Pilot E95S. On the surface, there isn't much similar in its design to the Sonnet, but I wanted to bring this in because its capping mechanism is quite similar, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. Next, I have a vintage Parker model. This is the Parker 45, and it is another torpedo-shaped fountain pen, but this one has flat end finials, and it also features that iconic Parker clip. And to round things off, I wanted to pull in a more standard fountain pen, and this is the Lamy Safari, which is available in many colors. This particular one is in terracotta. Let's take a look at these pens without their caps. All caps pull off, and in the uncapped form, the E95S is the shortest pen, which isn't surprising because it is considered a pocket pen. The Sonnet is the second shortest, and the rest are fairly comparable in overall length. While we have these pens uncapped, I want to take a closer look at the cap for the Sonnet. If we look inside, we'll see that there are leaf springs in there which secure the cap. However, I find that the motion itself is not very smooth. It has basically no resistance up until this point, and then you have to apply a bit of force to get that cap to fully seat. In contrast, if we take a look at the cap on the Parker 45, we'll see again there are leaf springs that hold the cap in place, but it just simply slides over this grip in a nice smooth motion all the way up until that band. There's no different stage of resistance. And on the E95S cap, we can also see leaf springs. These aren't quite as recessed as on the Parkers, But this one has probably the smoothest mechanism of the bunch. Again, it just glides all the way up until that ring. Nice, smooth, consistent pressure. We have a pretty wide variety of nibs here. The Safari has a fully exposed stainless steel nib. The Parker 45 is a semi-hooded 14 karat gold nib. The Sonnet has a fully exposed 18 karat gold nib. The Pilot E95S is a 14 karat inlaid nib. And the Wing Sung has a fully hooded stainless steel nib. The Wing Sung's grip, again, is fully hooded and just tapers back. The Pilot E95S also just tapers back, similar in shape to the Wing Sung, and the same could be said for the Parker 45. The Sonnet, on the other hand, has a flare-up followed by a taper back, and the Lamy Safari also has a flare-up followed by a taper. It's a bit of a longer grip than the Sonnet. Also, it features 2 facets, which forces your hands into a classic tripod grip. And let's see how these caps post. All caps post securely. The Safari is by far the longest pen when it's posted. The rest of them are very compact. No tools are required to disassemble the Parker Sonnet. The cap pulls off, and if we take a look inside, we'll see there is a plastic cap liner towards the bottom. That is captured by leaf springs, so there's no easy way to remove it. In terms of regular cleaning and maintenance, I'll just run this under warm water or maybe soak it with a bit of mild detergent. In terms of the pen itself, you can unscrew the barrel from the grip, and it has very smooth threads. Inside we can see a converter, which can be pulled straight out. And I haven't found an easy way to disassemble this converter. Typically, you want to unscrew or pull this metal sleeve, but it appears to be stuck in place. So I typically take a blunt needle syringe and force fresh water in and out of the reservoir. In terms of the grip section, you can unscrew the nib and feed. And the nib and feed are held together. The nib has 2 ears that hold onto that feed, so there's no easy way to remove it from the feed without deforming the nib. In terms of regular cleaning, I just simply soak this unit in warm water, or again, add a little bit of mild detergent if you have really stubborn ink stains. For today, this pen is fully disassembled. In order to reassemble, I'm going to start with the feed and insert it into the grip and then screw it down. We'll then reattach our converter, followed by our barrel. And lastly, our cap. At this point, we're ready to ink up. Inking up the Parker Sonnet, today I selected Waterman Serenity Blue. It's a well-performing blue ink and a staple in many fountain pen collections. We'll take the cap off the bottle and the pen, remove the grip section, extend the piston in the converter all the way down, place the nib into the ink, and then screw up the piston. Typically, I would extend the piston one more time to make sure I get a full fill, but that actually looks like a good amount of ink to start off for today. We'll go ahead and wipe off the grip section as well as the nib. Place the barrel back on the pen, as well as the cap. Cap up the ink, and at this point, we're ready to write. This is Clairefontaine Triumph paper, and this is the Parker Sonnet. And today we are writing with an 18 karat gold medium nib. And it's a well-tuned nib. It's smooth, it's wet, it has a little bit of a singing note to it if you listen closely. It doesn't provide much line variation, which is okay. I prefer that when it comes to quick pace writing. And overall, I'm very happy with this nib. In terms of our ink, today we have one from Waterman. And it is called Serenity Blue. For flex, I'll turn the page. As I mentioned, it's a fairly stiff gold nib. You don't get much line variation, but you do push out a little bit of extra ink. And then for reverse writing, actually quite smooth. And the feed is keeping up great. So I think for this particular pen at least, you could consider reverse writing if you want a thinner line and you're on the go. So, what do I think of the Parker Sonnet? I like many aspects of this pen. I think the overall design is classic and mature looking. I love that it's available in many colors and finishes, and I especially love that Parker decided to include their iconic arrow-shaped clip. I love that it's a pull-off cap. That makes it an easy pen to jot a quick note, and in the uncapped form, it's very lightweight and well-balanced with a center of gravity towards the front of the pen. That keeps this pen anchored towards the page and a great note taker. Also, the cap posts deeply and securely, which further improves the balance of the pen, making the center of gravity towards its center and making it a very comfortable writing experience for long writing sessions. Also, I love this grip section. I find it very ergonomic. I love that it's long and tapering. It should accommodate many different hand sizes as well as grip styles. And the nib is very well tuned. It's smooth, it's wet, and it's been a very reliable workhorse. I also think that the engraving that Parker used here is very nice and looks quite stately. But I do see areas for improvement with this pen, and the nib is one of them. Personally, I was hoping that this nib would be a little bit softer, especially considering that it has an 18 karat gold content. Also, the capping mechanism when you close the cap is a little bit clunky. It doesn't require any pressure going up to about this location, and then you feel a hard stop and need to apply a bit of extra pressure to get it to fully engage. I think that it feels a little bit clunky, and personally, I prefer the capping experience on the E95S, which also uses leaf springs, but it has just a gradual feel going towards the bottom. Also, I found overextended use that this cap doesn't seal the pen very well. The nib and feed stay wet without any issue, but I find that the converter tends to run dry a lot quicker than most pens in my collection. And then lastly, I don't know if it's because of the color scheme that I selected for this pen, but I find it a little bit boring and uninspired. But obviously, that's just personal preference. If you are a person that loves Parker pens and you're looking for an upscaled, modern version, I think this is a fantastic model to consider. And that just leaves me to say, thank you for watching.